G'day, guys, and welcome back for another Wednesday night. Sorry for a bit of an early start if you're in Queensland, but uh, everyone else seems to have daylight savings, so it throws us out over summer. So it will be at 6:30 for Queenslanders from now on until it changes back, getting close to winter. So it'll still be 7:30 for Victoria and New South Wales. I'm not too sure about the other times of the other states. But we do enjoy hearing from everyone else as well in Australia. So, once before we start, please hit that subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, and definitely get some comments in the comments section. We'd like to hear from you. So we will bring Jason in. Good evening, Jason.
Hey man, what's happening? What's been happening?
Oh,
Good week.
just
It's
working
been a
away.
good week in New South Wales this week, hasn't it? Oh, Ben Chicken is gone, followed by Barilaro. What a wonderful week to be alive.
Yeah, and you get your lockdown extended this week as well, don't you?
No, we should be getting out on the counting down the days. What are we? Wednesday this week, Monday the 13th. Freedom will be ours. We will be hunting. We will be shooting. We've got a new government now. They're bastards too, but that's all right. We got two scalps, Ben Chicken and Barilaro. It's a good time to be alive.
Yeah, we just need a few more from other states. That Daniel Andrews and old Palaszczuk up here would be nice.
Yeah, I know. It would be nice to get rid of most premiers, but hey, I'm in New South Wales, so, mate, we will take it. We will take it. So I don't think that's going to change. You know, you never know with politicians. They always lie to you, so don't tell you the truth. And, you know, they think the average Australian's pretty dumb. So we're not going to listen to it. We're not going to believe it. We're going to get out on the 13th. And, yeah, hopefully I can shoot some ducks. I was just rigging up some duck decoy weights for the decoys. And, you know, if most of you guys have seen Aaron shooting on his shotguns, you know, as you guys know, he's not very good at it. He couldn't hit the, broadside of a barn with the shotgun. So whilst on one of his videos, what was that gun I was shooting? That was the Rossi circuit judge, wasn't it? Just smashing it.
Yeah. Until you broke it. Until you broke the stock.
Was that 410? Was that a 410?
Yeah, 410. Yeah, 410 and 45 Colt. Yeah, it's an interesting gun. It's a bit of fun, wasn't it? But they stopped making them now, and once again they banned in New South Wales and all around the country, apart from Queensland.
Yeah, no, that was a bit of a fun weekend. That wasn't it? It wasn't bad shooting the little Rossi circuit judge. What was that? It was a 45. You said is it 45?
45 Colt.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, that was a pretty good weekend. That was a good weekend. We're just smashing clay. Sometimes I shoot them better with that thing than I do with other guns, but. Yeah, man, just rigging them up, and I did get a new shotgun. I bought a shotgun. Let's see. I won't say what it is. I'll bring it on one of the hopefully the next show. I don't think it'll get here this week, but it was second hand, but it was a couple of grand. So I looked at the pricing. So I paid what did I pay for it? I think how much did I pay? I can't even remember now. I think it was 1,800 shipped. 1,800, I think it was. And it was, I went to the shops. They're not making them anymore. And they did have one at the dealer. I'm not the dealer, the importer. And I was quoted $33.50 or $34.50. It was one or the other. So, yeah, looking forward to getting it. Beautiful tiger stripe timber wood. It'll be great, 30-inch, great for clays. And, I'm going to smash some ducks, not with that one because I'm not going to take that beauty down in the rice fields. But, yeah, it should be a good time over the next couple of months. Hopefully, get back to some normal activities.
Yeah, here's Liam says get down into the rice fields hunting ducks. He will love it. I used to do a bit of that stuff overseas, but all with semi-autos. Just under and over. I'm sorry, guys, just bores me to tears. I'm just used to semi-autos and just going full retard, just filling the sky with lead like in World War II, like flak fire.
That goes, now you know why he doesn't hit anything when he shoots something, especially with a shotgun.
It's got to be semi-auto. I'm sorry, it has to be like the good old days. Well, we'll be talking about that today, won't we? Because they were the good old days.
Yeah, exactly. And people are talking about Andrews. Yeah, we're hoping Daniel Andrews will be gone by the end of this week or next. But, you know, we can hold out hope. I tell you what, he's crazy, that dude, but I tell you what, he can definitely hold on, can't he? Out of all the things. And you're looking at the numbers, while ScoMo and Ben Chicken, they've all just plummeted in the numbers. Like, what's happening in Victoria? What is wrong? Obviously, we know it's not the shooters in this stream, but what is wrong with Victorians that the guy has charges against him from, it might be a kangaroo court, from that health department, 800 deaths, a lot of things going on, and he just still seems to remain somewhat popular with the plebs. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I mean, I think this at this point, this guy could do something really bad, and it still wouldn't change people's minds. You know. Anyway, what do you do? I guess, but let's hope he's gone sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if they're going to go through all his stuff like they did with Bin Chicken and see if they can find any dirt on him to get him out.
Yeah, there is some stuff that I read with the IBAC or whatever, which is like ICAC here, I would assume. So you never know what's going to pop up. But, you know, how he still remains up there in the figures absolutely just beggars belief with me. It really does. I just can't understand. Yeah, just goes back to my comment. Most Australians are stupid, but, you know, I guess we're a prison colony and that's stuck, I guess.
The polls are probably rigged anyway. How could you believe them? Especially if it's through the mainstream media. How would you ever believe him?
Peter says he's not popular. From the NSC says he's not popular. It's all BS. Well, I hope it is. I really do. I'd love to see him gone sooner rather than later. And I hope his party, you know, gets rid of him sooner rather than later, or something comes out of these investigations where he's for. I don't care how they get rid of him. I don't care whether it's, you know, dodgy deals or backroom cut party politics. Who cares? So long as just get him out as soon as possible.
I'll tell you what, the thing we got up here for Premier, she's copping it every day. She is hated. Yeah, absolutely hated. They want her gone now. Now she's fighting back and barking back at everyone because she's getting criticised all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I just listen to the way she talks too. I think, where did she go to school? Because she can, you know, basically really put two words together, unfortunately. But, yeah, I mean, she was, you know, giving it to old ScoMo today about some other crap, or, you know, this and that, not giving us any money. I was like, dude, they gave you half the money for the Olympics, or they're going to. You know, there's all these other money they've given you. What's the story? You just keep whinging, more money. Well, if you're going to not the lockdown now, but if they do, you know, that's where the government needs to say, mate, you're on your own. End of story. You're on your own.
Yeah, they've got to stop the $750 payout each week.
Mr. Wonderful's a very unattractive woman. Not that we're commenting on people's looks, but I would agree with that. Yeah, I mean, exactly. she's not Elle McPherson. Yeah, well, yeah, she's not Elle McPherson, but she's getting on a bit too. So I mean, these were back in our days when we were growing up 20 years ago.
No one in politics is like Elle McPherson.
She's probably still better now at age mid-50s than you know, these politicians. Good old Ben Chicken. I mean, Gladys. I mean, hey, Gladys is dating now her lawyer that I think the A represented her in the ICAC hearings 12 months ago. I mean, you just can't write this stuff. You really can't. What's his name? Moses Arthur or something? Moses something anyway. Or Arthur like Moses, something like that.
She's like a parasite, just leeching onto everything that she can get. Well, again, look at her. You got to get what you can get, I guess. But want to thank Robert here for the super chat, and our friend Lockie as well. Thank you so much. And Daniel Andrews has donated to us as well. Thank you very much, Daniel Andrews. Really bad case of Stockholm syndrome here, fellas.
Yep. Falling in love with your abuser. Absolutely. And, well, it's been a good week in New South Wales. Just hold strong, Victorians. Hold strong. You know, karma will prevail. He will be gone from politics eventually. So, listen, maybe I'm hoping. Maybe it's a bit misplaced, but I feel good things are coming. I just feel good things are coming. Someone will turn on him. Some information will come out. Bang! You'll read it like you did with Gladys. Bang! All of a sudden, she's caught. Well, she's not caught for anything just yet, but she's you know, under the microscope, so to speak. And bang! Same day, Andrews will be gone. Look forward to it, people. Look forward to it. It will happen.
Yeah, I don't think any politician should hold a firearms license, because politicians are not fit and proper people.
Well, if they got you can't do that. I mean, if they haven't got criminal. Okay, it's funny if you're being funny, yeah. But at the end of the day, if they haven't got criminal records, you can't. You know, we can't start acting like China and saying, well, you know, I'd say, all right, Aaron, that's it. I just don't like you. You can't have a gun license. I mean, you know, let's get serious.
Well, Victoria is pumping that through the gun laws next week. that's going to go through. If they don't like what you are or who you are or your behaviour, they're going to take your licenses and give you a firearm prohibition order on the spot by just shit kicker cops off the street. Like inspectors, low class inspectors, and that can do it. It's going to run rife down there.
Well, it's interesting what's happening all up here, and hopefully, we're just all going to get back to normal and put this terrible 2 years behind us. But like I tell people, they're trying it on a few of the centre right stations like Sky News and trying to pump up ScoMo, and they had like even guys like Alan Jones disappointed me a bit because he'd been smashing Gladys, which I enjoyed. Now. He's got some points about the ICAC having too much power, and I don't know why she would quit if she's done nothing wrong. But anyway, that's I guess we'll find out in a couple of weeks when they do their ICAC, or they probably already investigated. But she'll be on the stand having to answer hard questions. So I guess we'll see what happens, man. But why would you quit? Especially she didn't have long to go before she got all the perks and bells and whistles. So anyway, we'll see what happens, man, and Anyway, she's gone. Who cares? I don't care really what happens to her, to be brutally honest. But yeah.
Yeah, there was an interesting article. I'm just trying to find here that that her ex-boyfriend, who she's in trouble with,
Daryl
here we
Maguire.
go. Yeah, I'll bring this up. Yep. Hang on 2 seconds. Share the screen.
Trying to get Aaron to work. But let's have a read up. Alex Lopez says, let's hope so, Jace. Peter from the NSC says, God, I hope you're right too. He said, word on the street, is there legislation being drafted to supersede the SOE, which is, I guess, the state of emergency powers, and make it not required to rule anymore? Well, that'd be scary, wouldn't it? Imagine that, like basically permanent SOE powers. Very mate. You can't trust these politicians, man. Look at Andrews. I mean, and I know I've spoken to a lot of people. I know a lot of people from Victoria feel just very deflated and they just can't seem to get a break. And I feel for you guys, I really do. But just hang in there.
Exactly. Well, here's some real grubby reporting here. Dodgy Daryl McQuire spotted lurking with a rifle and a cigarette. Holy crap! He's on his own private farm. I'm not defending this guy, but he on his own private property with a legal rifle and having a cigarette, and that's all they could come up with. What an absolute joke.
See, this is the thing, right? If he'd have been caught for something, and I mean, as far as I'm aware, not many cases where the ICAC recommends prosecution, right? It happens in a very, very limited cases. So clearly whatever's happened, whatever he's done, has not stuck enough either via courts or whatever, because he's still got a gun license. I would assume if he's on his property farming, if something had happened and it been, some sort of fraud or this or that, he would have lost his guns. So clearly, not much is really going on when he's still got a gun license, eh?
But you look at this grubby reporting, he's just like, obviously they're from miles away, but he's photographing him walking around. Oh God. Ugh. And yeah, look at that. Probably across the road.
I reckon, nothing weird going on. I reckon he's more attractive than old bin chicken.
Yeah. And then they go into the shotgun club that they gave money grants to, which has pretty much kicked all this up, hasn't it? One of the things that happened. But they had other photos. They were photographing his farm and everything. It was like, geez, learn how to do proper reporting. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's just journalists. Someone said here too, yes, Chris, legendary. That's journalists for you. Yeah, absolutely. They don't really do much there, mate. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to do for the roll call. Yeah. What do you reckon, Aaron?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Neil, for the donation. When is your lockdown starting? I reckon from that super spreader footy garbage that was played in the weekend, I reckon in a week or so's time.
There's not one. Hey, show me one shred of evidence that COVID has been transmitted outside. Just one. You can't do it, so pipe down.
So once again, NRL will be held responsible for destroying the state. Front towards enemy. What is the NSC Federal Party voting guide? Yeah, I can tell you who I wouldn't recommend, and that'd be the SFP. That's for sure.
Well, there's a while to go anyway. On this is not until next year. So not until next year, I think. Is it next year? Yeah, next year. April, May, somewhere around there. So if ScoMo doesn't pick his game up, which who cares if he doesn't? Because I think he's the biggest flip flopper going around. But yeah, he won't be successful. I think we'll have a Labor government by next year. But hey, then again, Australians have very, very short memories. But there's a lot of comments on Facebook from people and YouTube comments saying, don't forget, keep on top of it. Don't vote for the majors, Labor, Liberal, Greens, Nationals.
Yeah, and SSFP.
We'll see in Victoria as well.
Thank you very much, Matt Outdoors, for donation. And Brandon, we should invest in an island and move all shooters there. A Utopia for firearms owners to enjoy. That would be awesome. But unfortunately, you buy an island, you've got to come under some country's rules. And so we'll probably be stuffed anyway. Got to live by their rules. And because we have to buy it in Australian waters because we're part of Australia. So unfortunately. But, there is 2 bits of land in the world that is not claimed by any nation at all. You can just go there and put a flag, but they're pretty desolate. One hasn't had rain for over 100 years. It's like some corner of a desert. So you could go there and just set up your own country and, full autos for everyone.
Yeah, we've got the Christian Constitutionalist says, hello from Midwest America. So welcome, Christian Constitutionalist. Good to have someone again from America. I saw our buddy Pat for our West Covina Dodge there in the chat as well. Of course, our regulars. But we'll get straight into that. Let's get it. If you haven't laid a comment, I'm going to give you 20 seconds while I'm talking to lay a comment so you pop up in my participants list here on YouTube. So once I start reading through alphabetical, if you do put one in, it'll appear after I've gone through it, so I won't be able to do it. So, right. Anyone wants to put a comment, get ready. We're going to go. All right, who we got? Let's start with A. We've got Alex Lopez. He's number 1 because of his name. Andy 1234777, a.k.a. Daniel Andrews, is back. Archie Kaboom, Aaron Johnson, Aussie Rumpig. Brendan Fairley. We've got CBM. Sherry's back with us again. She was on our live stream last week, so welcome back. Chris Legendary, Christian Constitutionalist, Colin Penfold, long-time supporter, Crazy 88s, I like that one. Defunky AIFY, Yafy, sorry if I got that wrong. Dave Hubner, Duke Chronic, Fox 860, Front Toward Enemy, still probably got one of the best names yet, guys. Got to beat that one. Grant A, Grey Hack, Griffo 117, Harps 666. We've got Jacko 1. We've got Jiffy Son, Josh D, Kieran 1999, Lockie McFarlane, of course, another regular. Liam Cumber, another regular. Looking Over Hell. That's also a good one too. Very, very close between Front Toward Enemy and Looking Over Hell. M. Trundle. Shit, you guys keep commenting and it keeps disappearing on me, guys. Matt Abella, Matt Outdoors Adventures, Matt Cato, another regular. Matt Rumsey, Michael Montanari, Mitchie 116, Mr. Wonderful, Neil Constantino. He's been here from the beginning. Neil H, Nick Mackay, and Salty, Oliver Baines. I haven't seen Oliver before, so welcome, Oliver. If you have, I'm sorry. Orange Star, Peter from the NSC, Phantom HD, Pig Hunter, Rob's Woodworking, Rog Sweetstar, Rose 123, Salty Skippy, Sean White. Oh, there's Shooting Stuff Australia in the chat as well. Skinsky 7, Stan Long Range Pension Up Mance. Another good one. You guys keep commenting. It's disappearing. Steve Savick, the Bushranger Brotherhood of Victoria. Love that one too. Tim Tretton, Trainwreck, Tube used to see one. Wayne Hobbs and Willie. Is it Willie or Will? Willie Bob. Welcome, Willie Bob, to the chat. There you go. That's roll call. If you guys haven't done it by next week, you will need a note and you will need to provide that to me prior to the show commencing. Thank you.
Didn't even get to send off the siren. You were that fast this week.
Mate, I got that participants one. As long as they comment, it's all in alphabetical order and ready to go. Provided they make a comment, they'll be in that list.
Jeez.
So it's pretty good because then it makes some comments. So that's good for the algorithm, gets the views up, and helps us get the live stream out to more people.
You missed Lone Wolf in 3 weeks.
Yeah, well, no, we missed him 3 weeks in a row, that means. So he hasn't been here. So so what do you guys reckon? Lone Wolf, do we ban him for not being here? Let us know in the comments.
Settle down. I gave Jason the power to ban people because we got a few idiots on here, and now he's just hanging to ban someone. He's got an itchy trigger finger for the ban.
No, the reason Aaron just gave me the thing because sometimes he doesn't see it and it just flips past, or you get some spammers or something, and Bob's your uncle. It's not good.
But before we ban people, we'll do the usual thing. We'll bring them up for everyone to see, and so you can all have your say because you seem to like that. So,
well, here we go. Uranus is back, which is yeah, he's back. He goes, "Hey boys, YouTube thought they could block me. Wrong move." Okay, welcome back, Uranus. He was a very, he's a very naughty boy with that name, so we can't read out the whole lot. And then Josh D said, "Woohoo! I finally got mentioned by Jace. I've been trying for a year." Well, we're sorry, Josh. We haven't seen you in the chat, mate. You maybe have, but I normally just read them out until Aaron gets the siren out on me. So you can blame him for that, man. So we'll give you a shout out too, because that's good that you've been here and you've been waiting a couple of years or a year. So.
And there's Jason's drunk with power on the banhammer.
Yes. Actually, who was that? That's it. We'll have to time him out. We won't give him a ban. We'll give him a 5-minute timeout. Oh, Paulo, where is he? Paulo.
Settle down or I'll take your privileges away. I'll do a bin checking on you.
Yeah, I'll be all of a sudden out. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, anyway. Hang on. This could call for a ban.
Oh no! Gladys is he's fishing. So we'll give him. Luckily, he put those emojis next to it from Matabella. He is a regular, so he if I was to ban him, he'd only get a 5-minute timeout for old Matabella. He wouldn't get a full ban. We just give him 5 minutes just to think about his comments about Gladys being the best premier.
Yeah, no, that's a close one. That was a close one. Is what Jeff says. Mate from South America has said he feels Oz has let him down and the vaccine mandate would rather go back than stay. So sad. Yeah, the different seems a bit stupid in this time of some bad epidemic or pandemic that they're going to be sacking police, military and frontline medical staff because they don't get a jab. I think this is the time you probably need those people, don't you?
Yeah,
and I think they're going to sack him. So,
Uranus said, to be fair, YouTube didn't block him. That's fake news. They just wanted his phone number for him to access his account. Again, still a bad move.
Buddy. Well, the Queensland Police this week have started standing down officers that haven't had the jab, and they're getting 2 weeks, I think, to get the jab there, or their jobs are terminated. So very interesting. So shoes
Matt
on the
said,
other foot now.
Guys, Jason is drunk with power, and Griffo said, "All hail Emperor Jason." Thank you. I really appreciate it. Yes, we should. And I think Matt Outdoors Adventures said red card. Yep, I think we should probably give a red card for Matt for those comments. So full send off at the moment until further notice.
Oh, and there's our mate Neil. I remember this day. Aaron tried to ban me once. I've been here since day one.
What did you ban Neil? Did you ban Neil?
No, that was the day we opened up to everyone. We thought he was trolling us.
Oh yeah, Neil. Yeah, that's right, Neil. Yeah, I remember now exactly. Well, you best be on your best behavior, Neil. You best be on your best behavior.
Jeez, listen to him, guys. Jesus.
No, it's all right. We've been pretty good. We had a couple of weeks here, didn't we? We had some bad ones, but all of a sudden things have been good again for the last couple of weeks. So maybe they got sick of making further accounts, and win-win for us.
So I don't mind the trolls. I think they're funny.
Liam Cumbo said, "Jason, I have not cleaned my shotgun after shooting a slab of shells. Do I get banned?" Yes.
No, absolutely. Not at
all. Well, it'll be a 5-minute timeout at least for you, sir, if it's just not looking after your equipment.
I have tons of shotguns, mate, and I've never cleaned a shotgun, ever.
Oh, that's why I'd never, ever lend you a gun and let you shoot. If you're in supervision with me there, I'll let you shoot. If you said, "Can I take your gun on a hunt?" God, no. Never. No.
No, I wouldn't take a FUD under an overgun anywhere.
No.
Our friend Alex has given us a super chat, but I can't find it in the stream here. And he says, everyone, join the NSC. Definitely join them. And we would like to thank the NSC for sponsoring this show tonight. So, guys, if you belong to a useless organisation that isn't representing you as well as you are led to believe or would like, please give them the flick if you are not happy with them and join the NSC. Now, they do fight for you for all your rights, and they do go to court, and they've won some guns back for us. And they are your genuine reason in Victoria New South Wales and Queensland to own a long arm. So definitely links in the description. Take a look at them and sign up today or whenever your other membership runs out.
Andy123477, our long-time buddy, said, ban this, ban that. What are you two? SSA premiers. Shooting Stuff Australia, yes. I'm the Premier of New South Wales. Aaron is the Premier of Queensland. Thank you.
Yeah. No, we only ban the absolute idiots. But we haven't banned anyone for ages. We haven't seen any trolls for a while. It's been a bit of a shame.
Yeah, I think they got sick of making alternative accounts. So
here we go. SFF are bitching about Shooting Stuff Australia. What
did we do this time?
I haven't even been on the internet this week, so I don't know what I've done. There's a few idiots from there that just go. Yeah, we all know years ago I got my Facebook page taken down. Yeah, they're always bitching and crying about something, those guys.
Here we go. Yeah. Wilbur says, I'm with one of the large organisations. Can I switch to the NSC for a genuine reason? Yes. It was if you're in Queensland, Victoria and New South Wales. So get onto it, Wilbur. Do not hesitate. Drop membership from said club. Join NSC. At least you got half a chance of getting something done. They're at least trying to make things happen. So there you go.
Apparently I'm a bad influence. Guys, what do you think? Am I a bad influence? Yes, I did see some idiot crying all over the internet, and you all sent me the screenshots saying that I have ruined shooting in Australia. It's like, Jesus, settle down. It's a bit rough, isn't it? But he can't. When you ask him how I've ruined shooting, he hasn't got an answer. But oh yeah, he was everywhere.
The funny thing is, I mean, we'll talk about this quickly before we go on to tonight's topic. I mean, people think somehow we have enough people or some sort of following that people listen to us and we can cause shooting parties to be elected or not elected. I mean, I just think it's a bit silly trying to blame us when pretty much all we do is talk on the internet, have no power to change who gets into government or even what shooting parties get into government. I mean, even if we had a reach to a couple of thousand people, that's not enough to do anything really, unless you're in a small town or something, but or a small electorate or something like that. But I mean, I think did you get blamed? I think for the WA elections. I mean, it wasn't just SFP that got knocked out; it was the Liberal Democrats as well. I mean, people just went a different way. They didn't want the Liberals. I mean, Liberals are pretty much a minority party in Western Australia, and we don't have the power to form who's government or what even pro-gun politicians even get into Parliament. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, from towards enemy says because I call them out for their bullshit. Yeah, I do call them out if they're going to say something, back it up, man. All their dopey followers don't just blindly go in, and I just go in and ask them, "Can you prove it?" or "Please show us the evidence," and they just fold and start abusing me. So yeah.
Or they do what they do in Victoria and vote to, keep government accountable. I mean, so government doesn't sit. Again, people say, "Oh yeah, this used to be a funny one years ago when people say, "Oh, I'm cash for comments sold out to the Liberal Democrats." I go, "Nah, they're just doing a good thing. If they start doing the bad things and saying things like no guns and no semi-autos and stupid things, I said they'll get exactly the same treatment." Exactly the same. I don't like all their policies, but it's probably the best of a bad bunch. Whether I vote for them in the election yet, I don't know. I've got a few on my mind that I'm considering voting for, so I don't know. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. But, I mean, any party that's in Victoria giving Andrews more power and is into shooting, God help us all. God help us all. And I urge people to think about that, about when they vote come whenever it is Andrews, whenever the election is in Victoria. What is it, like end of next year, I think, is it, or early 2023? I think it's the end of next year, actually. So
not too sure. I don't follow politics at all, really.
Yeah. But anyway, that's good. Let's get into our topic, and we'll read out some comments, all these people's comments and stuff.
Yeah, I'm just going through some of the comments now. Australian gun laws and the 1996 ban. Has it worked? Well, it's quite plainly it hasn't worked if you listen to the facts, but if you listen to the anti-gunners, it has worked. So they're quite conflicting reports, but as everyone knows, the overseas viewers go look up the history about Port Arthur shooting and what happened afterwards and all our laws and the changes. But it, obviously hasn't worked. Gun crime and shooting was on its way out, was actually declining quite rapidly when it happened. And once the guns had gone off, it started to, when it got banned, gun crime started going up, as it always does when you ban something, because you turn a large population of people into criminals overnight for doing nothing wrong.
Before we go on with that, front toward him, he said he threw away his large organisation membership through the renewal in the ban yesterday. Great feeling.
Oh, good stuff.
Threw it out. Fantastic. Remember, guys, join people that are helping you. Doesn't matter who if you think they're doing a good job, join them. If you think that organisation is doing a good job, then join them. But, again, we want to see what people are doing and taking action, not just, especially what's happening in Victoria. I know they're trying a few things on down there. And, some of these organisations just going, oh, these aren't onerous restrictions. Like, you shouldn't be agreeing with any restrictions at all. Again, this is what I'm saying. Join, and most people will never know about this unless other people report on it. But, again, everyone's always, talking behind the scenes or dealing with politicians behind the curtains. And one, it never achieves anything. And too often, all we get is, emails from organisations saying, oh, well, this is the new restriction come this date. I was like, well, but we fought. Mate, there's no evidence that you fought anything. They just say it's not onerous. They just think it's not onerous. So bad luck and suck it up. It's like, well, nah, man, no, not at all.
Well, it's going to be interesting when the new laws come out in Victoria, when they get pushed through, who actually did vote for them and what organisations did stand up and say no. It's going to be very interesting what is going to happen. I think it's next week it happens.
Here we go. This is the normal attitude again too. Adzi says he's not said anything bad when you brought his comment up, and so he just simply asked why, and they bagged the shit out of him too. So he just even asked why. Well, what did Aaron do? And they bagged the shit out of him. Again, and as someone just said here, you're living rent free in these people's heads. Like, I used to think about these people, but haven't thought about these people for a long time unless we speak about it on a live stream because something comes up that day or what's happening in Victoria as well. It's just, hey, we want to see them do well. We want to see them push pro-gun policies and agendas. I mean, same thing in New South Wales. We had an election in 2019. That's over, that's over almost 3 years ago now. And we've not achieved one single policy in New South Wales. In fact, things are a lot worse in New South Wales. If you're around a couple of streams ago, then now, even if they thought you committed a crime, you now can't have a gun license. And I've got the paperwork to back that up because I read it out to you guys. And hopefully that guy has some really good success. I don't think that will stand up in court, but that's where we're at right now. So clearly we're not getting any better. And we're paying, well over 200,000 or more, over 300,000 to those guys to get some sort of results. So what are we getting for 300,000 a year times 3 years? Well over $1.4 million. Well, what are we achieving for that money? Like, I'd like to know. I think I could do with some of that money. I'd probably do a better job. But anyway.
Yeah, me too. Is an interesting one. Before we get back onto the topic, Salty Skipper was Manus. Manus is the guy at the Lint Cafe shooting that started off another round of bans a few years ago. Was he registered? Was it a registered shotgun? And was he a firearms owner? No, he wasn't. He was a psychotic criminal. And he was a Category C, illegal Category C gun, pump action shotgun, cut down to fit into a backpack. So it's a gun that was banned in 1996 was used in a murder and a hostage situation in Sydney. So they do not, obviously, the gun laws and gun bans just do not work whatsoever. We're seeing shootings continuously in all the states. You hear them from independent reports as well, and mainstream media don't seem to comment on a lot of them, because they don't want to. The narrative is being challenged that gun crime is happening.
Yeah. Alex says, "Who cares? People say Aaron and Jason." Exactly. I mean, years ago, when you first start, you can't lie. At times, it does get to you. When the people start ganging up, it does get to you. But once you're 10 years in, like me, you either go two ways. You crumble and you stop doing what you're doing, or you just continue. It just becomes water off a duck's back. Like I do not even feel even remotely bad when thankfully it hasn't happened to me for quite a long time now, so I haven't had to worry so much. But when it was happening, 3 years ago, 2-3 years ago, I just laugh now. It's actually hilarious that I'm actually rent free in these people's heads. Like it's just gold, really. I'm like, why would you be thinking about me? Like, I don't think about you, and like I'm not really that earth shattering. So I'm just not as if I'm Chris Hemsworth or something, or some Hollywood actor where you'd give a damn. I mean, like it's just crazy. But anyway.
Yeah, I just couldn't care less. I've been like that almost from day one, because when I started this channel, I looked into how to what to do for a channel and that sort of stuff, research it all, and they all said, all the forums, number one, don't care what people say. If you got thin skin, you cry and get your feelings hurt easily, you're best not to start a YouTube channel. So
I knew a
I've
female
never
was running
cared.
a YouTube channel one time, and she was on some basic fitness and cooking type stuff, and and CrossFit and stuff. I mentioned, go, how come you're not making videos anymore? And she said, I cannot. People were giving me shit, and I just can't handle that. I go, wow, really? And she says, yeah, no, can't even remotely. It really tears me up. I said, wow, okay. And she said, that's a lot of people that just they can't handle the criticism. So just don't read the comments. I mean, that's the first thing most people tell you to do is don't read any comments, but. Or whatever. But
Yeah,
Peter said SFP blame NSC for their WA wipeout. Well, again, I don't think the NSC has enough power to change the swing of elections for pro-gun parties in any state. Neither do we, for that matter. So, I mean, people might listen to us, but it's not enough to, I think, to make a huge difference. So again, it's just that the people went a different way. Instead of blaming people, ask the question: why did they go a different way?
yeah, exactly.
It wasn't just them, as we know. I thought probably Aaron Stonehouse, one of the best spoken politicians I've heard of for many years in WA, LDP, he didn't get his seat either. So what? We didn't say anything negative about him. We pumped him up a little bit. He still lost his seat, so it didn't matter anyway.
We had him on the show a week or so before the election, and he put his case forward and everything. He was really well spoken and nice guy, and he didn't get in, unfortunately.
Andy said Jeff Borman has single-handedly destroyed shooters and fishers in Vic. Stuff him. Well, I have heard a lot of people would have preferred, Jeff had gone instead of Daniel Young. So that's what I've been hearing amongst the traps, but it wasn't to be. So whatever happened, he was expelled from the party as well, expelling their own, their own politicians once they're, not re-elected. I mean, just goes to show, doesn't it? I mean, sometimes things don't work out. You move on. Doesn't matter who it is, but
Yeah, exactly. So back to the topic, Jason. About
we
gun control.
I mean, we know, the homicide rates were dropping long before 1996. I mean, that's just everybody
I think they're
knows.
at an all-time low, actually, weren't they?
They were pretty low. Even the USA has had a dropping homicide rate for the last 100 years as well. I mean, let's look at other countries as well that have also had similar drops to Australia as well on the same trajectory. I mean, New Zealand was one of them as well, obviously up until what happened in Christchurch. Czech Republic, for an example. I mean, even look at Brazil when Bolsonaro took over. 2015, there was 59,000 deaths with firearms. As soon as he came in, he opened up concealed carry, the importation of sporting firearms into Brazil. And then within the first 6 months, we had a 25% reduction in homicide. Now, was that entirely because he introduced guns? No. Obviously, being a fairly right-wing party, they certainly don't muck around when it comes to putting people in prison. If you're acting up, you either get I'm not even sure if they've got the death penalty over there, but you either wake up dead somewhere in a ditch, courtesy of the government, or you're in jail for pretty much the rest of your life. So, that's a huge drop in 6 months, over 25%. So just huge numbers. So again, introducing more guns does not equal more crime. That's what I believe anyway.
You look at California and Hawaii, they have the hardest gun laws in America, and they have their murder rate, homicide rate is a lot higher than a lot of the other states. And the states that have the lowest, the highest gun rate, the better gun laws and concealed carry and everything, their homicide with firearms are way down compared to California and Hawaii. Now that's plain black and white. You can't mix that thing up. It's there, and it's just what it is. More guns is a safer community.
Mm. And me and we always talk about this. Well, sometimes we haven't for a long time, but people used to ask us, and I only did one ever show, but as I thought it was interesting, I had no opinion on it. I got my own personal opinions on things, but I generally don't share those in regards to 1996 because people say, well, this happened, that happened, he didn't do it, he did do it, whatever. I just don't think there's any value going back over. At the end of the day, this is the problem. The majority of people, whether he did or didn't do it, they think he did it. So you're never going to be able to go on TV and say, well, he didn't do it, he didn't do this. People just think you look like a fool. I'm not saying they do, but I'm just saying that's why me and Aaron don't really talk about it. There's nothing to gain from talking about something that happened 30, was it almost 25 years ago? It doesn't help the cause to keep bringing it up all the time. The media and John Howard do enough of that. But I do believe, like you see a lot of the people pushing policies, from like that were victims of Port Arthur. But just because you're a victim doesn't make you an expert in the subject matter to be able to control gun laws. That's what, and I know it might be offensive to some people when you say that to them if you're on TV. Well, just because you're a victim doesn't make you an expert in gun crime, gun policy, or anything along those lines. I mean, most of them just say, oh, just ban guns. That's pretty much their policy. Oh, my uncle got shot, ban guns. Walter Mitkack. Fair enough. I feel sorry for that guy, right? My daughter and kids got killed. I totally understand. It's a terrible situation. Ban guns. That's their policy entirely. They don't have any other. There's no black and white between them. Ban guns. That's it. There's no other option for them.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually very sad when people who relatives were victims get up on their soapbox and do it. It's like they're exploiting their loved ones who were killed just for their own point of view and gain. I think it's quite disgusting myself.
Yeah, and a couple of people saying, they're doing their research. I can read some of the comments. We're not keen on, telling about which organisations that at this stage. When we have concrete evidence, that may be a thing. But Liam says, there's organisations standing with the government in Victoria. Exactly, that's what I keep telling you. Don't be fooled by what these people tell you. Look at what they do. If they're not, it's okay to send out an email. We say this all the time. It's okay to send out an email or, to tell people to do this or we're doing this, but I mean, that's not really anything. Me and Aaron can do that. We see that all the time. Or what do they put out? Those polls, what do they call them? Those things we always say, where they fill them out and you sign them and all that. What's it called?
The change.org.
Yeah. They don't do a single thing, man. Forget about them. Don't waste your time. I wrote letters, as you guys know, for years. Didn't do a single thing. Still don't have suppressors. Still don't have semi-autos. In fact, things are much worse now than they were 5 to 6 years ago. So, again, you just got to start voting for people that hopefully do a good job, that are pro-gun, and then obviously support your organisation so they can, get the money they need to fight these things in court. Because, again, New South Wales, 3 years we voted pro-gun parties in. No changes. Again, no changes in WA, no changes in Victoria. That's just the reality. And then, if people say, well, we need to get more people, agreed. But if we can't get, enough people in Parliament in 25 years, then clearly we're never going to. So we need to, shelve that option of political parties, still support the ones that are, and then we'll go from there. Yes, thank you, you bastard.
Okay, so
go.
I can have a talk now. It's definitely been getting a lot worse. Doing the research for this article tonight, just looking it up, gun crime, everything, the amount of articles that came up, like every week sort of thing. There's a shooting somewhere in Australia. This has happened, that has happened. But they've all seem to be buried stories. They're not like, they don't put, I guess it's because of the China flu, that's the main narrative. That's all they know how to really, write articles on anymore. But it's amazing how much gun crime there actually is in Australia, happening every single week. We had one, I read a truckie was asleep on the side of the road in his cab, pulled out and shot for no reason and robbed, just shot on the side of the road. He was asleep in his truck. Another one, a truckie was actually sniped and killed. There was just so many instances, stuff we don't even really hear about on the in the news there's actually happening. That's just small newspaper articles. They're everywhere. It's just unbelievable. So no, the gun crime hasn't gone down. We had a police officer not far from where I live gunned down with a full automatic SKS a few years ago and killed. So,
I mean, there's
yeah,
certainly guns there. There's certainly guns out there. I mean, look how many are handed in each year or picked up from people. It's just there's quite a large percentage, and that just keeps building and building each year of all the amount of guns they're finding off the street. So where are they coming from? That's the biggest question. Obviously, some sort of black market, imported in pieces.
just not handed in, not handed in. And people got more money by selling them to criminals than they did actually handing them into the government. That's another thing. We've spent, when it happened, the big buyback in 1996, it was 700,000. No, was it $700 million was spent? And I know I read an article. Now it's gone well over $1 billion I've spent on buybacks because the buyback is still on. There's always an amnesty on for your guns.
Well, I'll throw up some comments anyway, just ones that you think, just run through them quickly. Even if they're just statements, bring them up. We'll bring up people's stuff. We'll give them a say. I mean, it's just, we go.
Oh, Salty Skippy, what good is gun control in the age of 3D printers? Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, it's not really to control criminals. It's just to control people like us that do the right thing. That's the thing. I mean, I don't know how many times I've heard people say to me, oh, like, Jace, what do I need to do to get a gun license? Sound fun. So I spell it out to them and they go, oh, God, no. I'd rather just go down, blah, blah, blah. You might be a guy that I know from 20 years ago. Oh, I've seen you on the internet. What's the best way to get a firearm? It's like, just join a club, this and that. I've got to do shoots per year. They go, nah, forget about that. That's too difficult. Things are broken when it's actually easier. And again, we obviously don't condone doing this. Obviously, we say, follow the laws as stated right now. There you go. It's easy to go buy a gun off the street. So it's actually easier to get a gun off the street than it is to get a gun license for a person that hasn't committed any crime. So you automatically know it's broken when that sort of thing is occurring. And people are saying, that's not the first time I've heard that, and they just seem like normal people. Like, well, I'm not going to do anything bad with it. So what have I got to worry about? But they don't want to, this hop, skip and a jump and hoops. And it's just crazy. But like I said, don't do that. Just follow the law, get your gun license, become a voter, a good supporter of the shooting community, and do the right thing until at such time we can change the laws.
Yeah, exactly. And it'd be interesting to see during the last 2 years of the China pandemic whether the gun licenses how they've been affected, going up or down. I know in Queensland there's been a massive spike in gun licenses, obviously, and like where you are, Jason, you can't get out and do your gun license. Yeah, you can't get out and because all the regional areas, they can still go out and travel. It'd be interesting to see those statistics.
Yeah. Even if we don't talk about people's comments, just bring some up anyway, just so people can see them and see what people are saying, even though they're reading them in the comments. But Peter said petitions. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, petitions. I mean, I was like that. I was the guy that shared that stuff, and it was like people just love it. And I go, it doesn't do anything. Like, they don't even care. And tell me one time a petition has saved anything in Parliament. Never. I mean, I know they were trying it on a couple of months ago in New South Wales legislation. Please don't be fooled by that, guys, thinking, somehow an organisation put out a petition that somehow saved the gun laws or something. It's just the stupidest thing I've ever seen and heard in all my life in the 10 years that we've been doing this. Please don't be fooled by that, please.
Yeah, here's Hunters and Shooters Society of Australia. Gun control is like a speed camera. If you're in a stolen car, take off your plates. Nothing wrong about it. Nothing to worry about it. Exactly. Yep.
Yep.
Our friend Shanti TV, how's gun control there impacted gun violence and crime? Well, crime's gone up. All the criminals still have guns, and criminals absolutely love our gun laws because they know the citizens are unarmed, can't defend themselves. Home invasions are just everywhere. Home invasions are very bad because they know no one's allowed to defend themselves. So it's just like right for the picking.
Yeah. And Uranus said, Australia owes Howard the coward nothing. Quite the opposite. It's interesting because I was talking to Aaron about this a couple of weeks ago, and I said, I don't think people really grasp how bad John Howard actually was and what he was able to do in that time frame. He literally was able to, even now, it's probably worse now. Everyone remembers John Howard and the gun thing. It's just he was very successful. I'll give him that at turning people against gun owners. Like I can't stand Labor, but I don't think Labor would have gone down as far as the Liberal Party did. I just don't do it. Same. I think what we would have seen was something very similar to New Zealand. So you still have your pumps and your semi-autos up to 5 shots, your Ruger 1022s, but they would have banned the semi-automatic long arms. Of course, I wouldn't be happy with that, but surely most people would go, that's better than what we've got now. I mean, to the point where can't have the semi-auto shotguns. I got to go shooting under and over on the ducks or my straight pull shotgun. Perfect would be a pump shotgun for the rice fields. 5-shot semi-auto, 5-shot pump, or 10-shot, whatever you want. I like a bit lighter, so 5 would suit me. But that's what would work. But he went again above and beyond and further, and terrorized the states into supporting it, and not just did that, but did a number on the Australian psyche. And we're living with it 25 years later, and we've had no success in repealing, even though their lefties will say that, we've had no success repealing any of it. Not one single bit. In fact, things are worse now.
Exactly. This is one. Josh, my postie in Queensland got a gun license renewal knocked back under new fit and able laws because she has to wear glasses to drive. How absolutely ridiculous is that?
Why would that be? Is that serious? I mean, surely you just fight that in court. I mean, what do you mean? My local postie knocked back under new fitting. I mean, wow, what? Just because you wear glasses? I mean, really?
Yeah.
So what now would just say, I mean, not that people wear glasses are disabled, because Aaron's wearing them right now, but that's not even a disability. But even if people do have a disability, but they can still shoot. I've seen people at the ranges in wheelchairs really enjoying the sport, and so they should. I've seen amputees. I've seen,
blind people. We had a blind dude.
What are you allowed to call them? The little people? What do you call them these days? Little people.
Midget, dwarfs. I don't know.
Whatever the terminology is, that's PC these days.
The ones we used to throw in pubs.
Yeah, they're standing on chairs and they're shooting. Good on them. Why are we discriminating? I mean, against disabled people that have their mental capacity is totally fine, but they were born with a disability. I mean, it's total discrimination. It's just absurd.
Well, I'm lucky I only need glasses for reading. That's it. Jeez. Yeah, you'd get off that. You go to court and get off it. But that's not the point. You've got to go to court. You got to fork out money for a lawyer. $5,000 later. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah.
I mean, at least
this is what it's become. This is what it has become since 1996.
Yeah.
Just not banning guns. Hey?
I said a lot of people are getting rejected, unfortunately, for stupid things, and they probably know it's not going to hold up in court. But again, it costs you money, doesn't it? Like I said, just if you're out there, just follow the laws. Don't speed. Try not to speed. I know you can easily get caught. You don't realize you go from an 80 to a 60 and then back up to 80, and they're waiting in the 60 zone, which we know they do. Just always keep your smarts about you, your wits. Have your phone in a cradle. Don't touch your phone. You get, bang, you get a mobile phone charge, and bang, gun license could be gone next week, or upon renewal. So, but yeah, it'd probably be harder to get rid of it upon renewal, because if the offence was years ago, then you'd have a case to say, well, why didn't you take it off them earlier? Yeah,
exactly. And it's JR. Early start tonight. What did I miss? Yeah, it's an early start because daylight savings here in Queensland, JR. So unfortunately, Queensland's just going to have to start at 6:30 until winter. So over summer, we'll be at 6:30, while everyone else is 7:30 another time frame. So, guys in Queensland, remember 6:30 each week from now on.
Yeah, just until the end of until daylight savings finishes. I wish Queensland needs to get with the program, man. Like, doesn't bother me, daylight saving. I guess the extra time is good, but it doesn't really affect me. Front toward enemy says, my old man wears specs and is a crack shot. Vertically challenged is what you call them, and Santi TV says little people. All right, well, and you're right, it's just discrimination, as Griffo said, discriminating against people with disabilities. This would not be accepted amongst the the trans community, gay community, black community, any other minority community. People would be rolling over in their graves,
hell would break loose.
Yeah.
Keith, Australia, where gun laws are so tough that we even ban plastic toy guns. Exactly. It's just been flowing on and on and on for 25 years. Oh, we get knocked back for stupid reasons now, even though you had a gun license for 20 years. plastic toys, Nerf guns. The guy had to register. I don't know if he had to, but he did, and they were dumb enough to do it. Registered a Nerf gun here in Australia and made international news and a complete laughing stock of our law enforcement in Australia. It was everywhere on overseas news. It's just not. Doesn't just end at gun bans. It just the little bits just keep coming and coming and coming, and then caliber restrictions, magazine restrictions. It's just never ever ends.
West Covina Dodge said, Pat said, blind dude got a bullseye, or so we told him. Andy says, here comes the PC police. Look out, Aaron. That's from our buddy Daniel Andrews down there in Victoria.
I'm not scared of the PC police. JR, guys, so late. Fucking daylight savings. Yeah, no, daylight savings sucks. We need daylight savings in winter so we can have longer in the evenings.
Yeah, why not just do it all of Australia? Make a decision. Yeah, federally, suck it up, states. That's what we're doing. But here we go. Josh D said, not even joking, fellas, a real thing that happened. She fought it and had to go get an ophthalmologist, to sign a paper saying it would not affect her ability to shoot. It's a shame you've even got to do that. I mean, how would they even know you've got glasses anyway? Do you have to report glasses wearing to them? I mean, I don't even know. Let me know, guys. I can't remember seeing that. I don't wear glasses, but I've never seen that on the sheet. Is it on your application or renewal? Is it something they've added? I can't remember. Let us know.
Most people over 40 or 45, say, wear glasses in some capacity for reading or mid-distance or anything. It's just what happens when you get older. Are they going to do that to every elderly person, senior citizen who still does shooting? Yeah, why are they just targeting a single person? It's just ridiculous.
Salty Skibby said they'll be if you knock back the old, you probably won't get a license either eventually. That would not surprise me. Or they'll come after you. I'm not surprised. Yeah, that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I say every week, when they started registering Nerf guns in South Australia, I knew shit was getting pretty serious.
Oh yeah, that's beyond a joke. That and you've heard the story I've told before about the guy in Victoria who imported the old 50s spud gun. You put the spud into it, and they told him he had to engrave serial numbers on every one because it was classed as a pistol, firearms pistol, because it shot a projectile, a little piece of potato out of a stamped steel gun.
Yeah, and this is what this is promoting too. This is we got no opinion on this. We're just going to read it. But Oliver said, just don't go to the doctors like the old days unless your arm's hanging off by a thread. So this is what's happening. People aren't going to get the medical care they desire now because they're afraid something will happen because of this type of thing where if someone wears glasses, they get their license taken off them just for wearing glasses. So people aren't going to seek the medical care they need because they're afraid of maybe losing their license or having questions asked, and people just don't want to go through the hassle. So, yeah, I don't blame them for not wanting to turn up in that situation, and then just put blinkers on and just keep moving forward and don't worry about it.
It's the same with mental health as well, people are scared just to go talk to someone. They just want someone to talk to, but they're too scared to get diagnosed or anything because of losing their gun license. So they go untreated, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Or people even just needing a mate to talk to, or someone to talk to. Just to, everyone's had financial pressures at some stage. Everyone's had, a family breakup or, relationship breakup or a death in the family or a death of a child, being a parent. These are normal emotions. The normal emotions for people that people go through doesn't mean they're a danger to society because they're having a bit of a rough time for a couple of months because any one of the above myriad of reasons. It's just crazy.
Yeah, and Andy said I opted out of my health before it started. Yeah, exactly. I think most people did, but I have read reports and forums and that people saying the police are trying to override that and get into people's private records. And what they were talking about with this Wu Flu passport is going to have all your medical records on there. So they're going to be public knowledge anyway. Absolutely ridiculous. No way in hell would that would fly with most people at
Yeah,
all.
Peter said it's a change to medical status in Queensland. I mean, crazy that people can think wearing glasses would be a change in medical condition. I mean, sort of as if there's some of these people are blind or anything like that. I mean, I wouldn't even assume you'd have to even. Again, I don't know. I'm not in Queensland, so you have to tell them you're wearing glasses. I mean, what?
Nah, I've never.
As most people get older, they're going to need glasses, I guess, at some stage. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Doesn't mean we're blind.
Yeah, mine are just. What about like me? I just go buy the $2 bloody glasses from, like the reject shop. Is that bad or what? That's ridiculous.
Here we go. I'm sorry, excuse me. Hunters and Shooters said, I can confirm that Queensland weapons licensing will check your driver's license and record. This is how they find medical conditions or glasses. Wow.
Yeah.
Heaven forbid you're wearing glasses, guys. That's now wearing glasses is a crime, It's crazy.
National Shooting Council. Remember how the WA Minister claimed gel blasters could be converted to fire real rounds. We put FOI, Freedom of Information request, and now have the response story coming up this week. It's a corker. Yeah, that'll be very interesting. A plastic toy gun made for children reckon they can fire real rounds. What an absolute joke.
Because it's got a rifled barrel, it's got a firing pin, you can cock it and come on. I can't even take this seriously anymore. When they're give me a sec, sorry, I had a bit of a thing there. When they're drafting this stuff, do they actually sit there and say, like, they just rub each other on the back going, oh, good job, man. We're really saving people here. I just can't imagine people not sitting there going, like, at least I could respect somewhat. At least I could respect them somewhat if they were behind closed doors going, oh, we know this is going to do nothing, but fuck these shooters, you know what I mean? Like, we're going to screw them over. Hey, at least I could understand that, but not really sitting there going, good job. Oh, man, we're saving people here, man. This is amazing. We've got these
guns.
Death killing machines off the street. Our constituents are going to love it. I mean, that's just stupidity. At least the other way you go, well, they're screwing us over, but at least they know it's stupid, Yeah,
exactly. Gel blasters are banned in WA because they look too real in a state where steel imitations can be owned without a license. So you can have imitation steel guns, but you can't have a plastic toy gun that fires little water balls. Yeah. Well, they were actually, I think it's the latest victim of gel blasters is Victoria, fully banned now. And they were on there saying they sound and look real, and people are using them in serious crimes now. And the police were going there, our officers can't even tell the difference. Well, how about getting some training in some officers with half a brain that can tell it's a plastic toy gun? I can pick out a gel blaster every single time by looking at it. It's not hard.
Yeah. Tank Meister said, if you can drive a car with one good eye, why not have a firearms license? Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, but if you're totally blind, what do you guys? Hey, good question. What do you guys think? But then I know there's guys in America that still love their sport. They go supervised to the range and they shoot at the range. The people help them. Doesn't mean they have their constitutional rights taken away from them, though, just because they're blind. They don't get away with something like that in the US. Obviously they're not going to be, shooting unsupervised because they're blind, but they go to the range. A family member helps them. They hold the gun. They shoot. They want to get out. They're blind. They want to do something. They want to feel like do the things they always did. And that's not. And that how many in the US? There's probably hundreds of thousands of them that are doing that are blind. Or 150,000, 20,000, 10,000. There'd be still some people that be blind that can still go and do that activity. Not go. Well, sorry, no guns for you. That's it. Finished.
Well, I shot with a guy down the Gold Coast. He was blind, or he had very minimal, absolute minimal vision. Like he couldn't drive or read or anything. And his wife would stand next to him, and he had a laser on his lever action, and she just moved the gun for him. And when it was on the bullseye, the laser dot, he pulled the trigger. And the police, after years of this, took his gun license off him. He went to court and won it back.
Mm.
The police were not happy because I remember they used to shoot down at our club, and I remember them making comments about it, and they were pissed off that he got his license back.
Yeah. Like if I was Premier of New South Wales, it'd be the best state ever. I'm telling you. We'd have the guns. We'd be bringing the jobs in. We'd be reducing taxes. We're bringing in jobs. We're getting people working. It'd just be a great state to live in, Again, I don't know why countries, states just are not competitive with that sort of stuff. Why not have some competitive? Like people say, I want to live in New South Wales because they've got the best gun laws. So I want to live in New South Wales because there's plenty of jobs there, or it has whatever it is you're interested in, When we can't even watch UFC in New South Wales. Not that I watch UFC. I don't mind a bit of boxing, but I don't watch UFC. But we can't even have UFC. It has to go to Melbourne. God knows what reason, because people are punching people. I mean, we've got boxing. That's okay, isn't it? What's the difference? I'd have UFC. I'd have all the sports here. We'd be just a mega hub for like people. You guys in Victoria under Daniel Andrews would be saying, I'm going to Jason's New South Wales because that sounds awesome.
Yeah, well, we'd have Queensland be the same, but we'd have better weather. And we wouldn't be called New South Wales. It'd be even better again.
Yeah, well, I'm keen to what Peter just said before. I'm keen to actually see, what information comes out. I'm sure it's the dumbest stuff you've ever heard because generally it's low IQ, low paid minions doing the work. And what do you expect?
Jace, the Shooting Council, Jace, blind people shoot using an audio device that makes a sound when cuts out when they are right on target.
Right on target, yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, they do shoot. Exactly. You shouldn't have to discriminate people because of that. This is people's pastimes. It keeps them mentally stable and makes them feel a part of society.
Part of the community.
Person. Yeah. But they don't care. The police don't give a shit about that. They don't care. No, it's just their own agenda. They don't care about your well-being. They don't care about how you feel or you want to be a part of something. They're not interested in any of that.
Daniel says there's plenty of shooters in this club who struggle to walk, but to sit down to shoot. Yeah, no problem. I mean, just because they've got people to sit down because they've got a few health issues, we shouldn't discriminate against people with disabilities, or even if they're not disabled, it's just, they could be overweight, they could be skinny, they've had some health issues. Like I said, amputees, could be anything.
Yeah, exactly. One thing I hate is discrimination. I can't stand it. Everyone should be included and be a part of whatever they want to be a part of.
Yeah, we're not going to shove it down people's throats anyway. You want to be a part of it, you do. You don't, you don't, you don't. End of story. It's pretty simple, isn't it? The Front Toward Enemy says he's looking forward to seeing that advice out of WA from the NSC. Yes, we all are going to want to see that. It's interesting that most people don't know about FOI or don't got to get involved in it. The things you can pick up on some of these things are quite hilarious over the years, things that have come out. So
this is what I've been telling Jason every day, David. Queensland, no lockdowns, better gun laws, cheaper houses. What else do you want?
Well, you got one problem there. One, too hot. Way too hot. No good. I've been to Cairns as well. I went to Cairns. I know it's way hotter than Brisbane. Oh, man, it was horrible. I loved it there, but shit, it was horrible.
I find Cairns too hot.
And you're sweating your quincer off before you even walk fucking 5 meters. No good.
Yeah.
And where's the game up there? I don't see many people shooting game up there. I know you can see the deer in that, but
we can go to private property and just plink though. I mean, you guys can't.
We can sight in our rifles.
Yes. 5 shots, that's it. Then you break the law.
Negative. Sherry said Jason for Prime Minister. She says, I wouldn't go that far, but it would be a good state. I mean, again, I don't know why there's not competitive, between states to try and get the jobs here. I'd be offering tax cuts. Get your business here for 1,000 jobs. We'll sort it out. We'll build a premises. You employ the people. Get jobs into the state. But, we'd rather destroy, New South Wales and all the states would rather destroy business.
Oh, I'd be bringing all the major gun companies to Queensland saying, get here, mate, we'll give you land. You start building them here. Open slather. No 30-round mags, 40-round minimum.
Yeah. No, Andy says New South Wales, best gun laws, get the F out. I'm talking about if I'm in charge, Andy. I'm in charge. Oh, the old Jason Selms as Premier. I'd stand up there, guys. We're getting competitive. We're not going to waste money. We're going to get people in jobs. It's going to be awesome. And then, boom, people just start flooding across the bloody border, like they're doing from Victoria right now. But it'd be to New South Wales. It depends what state I'd be in. I don't know. I'm just saying New South Wales because I live in this state. But
Yep, we can all dream about that, but as Jason and me have said for years, it ain't going to happen. None of these politicians are ever going to change the laws for the better. Never, because gun bans are good for business. It's good for their voting. No, look at me. I've saved all you people. I banned a gun while I was in power. Vote me in again. Give me my big fat dirty paycheck and my freeloading lifestyle.
And then you've got our side saying, we'll stop the ban. Well, that hasn't been successful either. You know, we haven't changed anything on the NFA in, what is it, 25 years almost. You know what I mean? It's just we're really not winning. We're really not winning.
Then you had the 2002 pistol ban, wasn't it? It's when it came after pistols in 2002. So it just never ends, just one thing after the other. What's going to be next? Guys, tell us in the comments, what do you think is going to be next? What do you think is on their wish list? Apart from wiping everything out, because they know that they probably can't do that, because at the end of the day, they do get quite a handsome chunk of change out of taxes on the firearms and that. What do you think they'll nibble at next?
I reckon straight pulls, but I don't want to give him any ideas. Salty Skibby says, Jays, if you became Premier, he'd be jumping over the Yarra to get up here. Yes, well, we're welcome to New South Wales, the best state. You know, we got the gun, we got the good gun, we got all the sweet. Mate, we'd have it all. We'd have gel blasters, we would have airsoft, we'd have paintball, we'd get businesses up and running in paintball, we'd have all the land, we'd have airsoft, mate. It would be on for young and old here. People are just going to want to live in my state. We've got UFC, we're going to bring in the F1, we're going to bring in everything. It's all going to be here. Move here.
Jeez, what have you been drinking, Jason? You're living in a fantasy world. It's like,
well, I'm probably not going to be Premier, true. So I go,
I'm snorting fairy dust.
I hope these people will. I don't know why they're not doing that. Why don't they want to introduce, these things into the state and bring in cash, bring in taxes? I mean, it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, put up the comments, man. Let's get a few comments. Even if we don't read them out, just bring them up as we're talking. Bring them up.
Matt says bow. Yeah, I reckon they will do something with bows. I'm surprised they haven't done anything with bows so far. Trying to bring some form of restrictions in, like they do with crossbows here in Queensland. Got to get a license and lock them in a safe, for God's sake.
Yeah, I mean, we banned, good one from CG. We banned fireworks, for God's sake. I mean, again, my mate goes, I know my mate mine goes over to the US to, is it Guy Fawkes or whatever it is, and they have the big, massive, all the people put on these big, huge firecracker events. They blow stuff up. Thousands of people go there, man. It's absolutely huge, and big displays every night, and it's just people love it. People love it. We'd also have fireworks in New South Wales if I was running the show. So there you go.
Oh, yeah, I miss the old fireworks, that's for sure.
And another one from Jack Daniels. We also banned the green knives, remember?
Oh, yes.
Oh, God.
I've got a video out on that, guys. Go and find the video on this channel. And I explain all of that. The zombie knife ban, where New South Wales banned any gun that was, knife that was green and had the word zombie on it and fake blood. It is banned. Their reasoning, I think, was because people are more likely to use it in a crime.
Yeah, whatever it was just, again, it's like, and again, if I'm in New South Wales right now, so getting back to, I guess, a little bit of the topic at hand, what would you guys, I mean, again, if you're in New South, okay, for all states, doesn't matter where he is, put it in the comments. We've except for WA now. South Australia, no, not really. Northern Territory, not really. No, in the ACT. So really, we're talking about New South Wales. We're talking about Victoria. At the moment, that's where we've got pro-gun people. Let's talk about the people in WA as well, because they had pro-gun party there, people for 2 terms, and Aaron Stonehouse as well. So if you would have voted for a shooting party, most likely, if you're watching this live stream, right? So in your time of knowing that and voting for a party, what were their achievements? Tell me in the comments. Like, I know all this, but I know what the answer is. But I'm just asking you guys, from your knowledge, what were the achievements that you were happy with when you voted for that specific party? I know the answer, but I'd like to hear it from you. What were you happy with? What policy did they get through that you were happy with? Let us know in the comments. We'll read them out.
Yeah.
I know. Sorry, man. I'm upset. I'm coughing a bit. Yeah, all of a sudden, I think I had a bit of a drink of this, and it's just put a tickle in my throat for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, Jeffy, you can buy a bow, no license, but you can't drive around with it unless you join Hunters Association or a club. Yeah, I didn't know that. Here in Queensland, I'm pretty sure you can just drive around with a bow in your car and that, and go shoot it on. You can shoot it in your backyard. We used to be able to shoot bows at the public park. People used to do that until the fun police cramped down on that.
Yeah, a lot of people saying something about fireworks and bonfires. Yeah, it was we used to love that. Remember, each year, one time per year, we'd have the crackers. Then some idiot blew off their hand, blew up a few letterboxes. It was no good. But they were the fun days. Though, blew up a few letterboxes. Not that I ever did that, but I know some people did, and it was fun. And
nice.
The owners weren't happy about it. Obviously, the next day with their blow. That's why I think a lot of them went to brick and concrete because it wouldn't do anything to because back years ago there was a lot of wooden, wasn't there? Back many years ago, wooden post boxes you had at the front of your house, letterboxes. So
yeah, well, when I grew up in New Zealand as a kid, pipe bombs were legal. You could make your own pipe bombs out of fertilizer and blow up tree stumps and that. That was legal. You could just do that. There's no law against it. Fertilizer, Yates Universal Weed Killer and sugar, I think we used to use. And that was all legal. We used to do it on farms, to blow out stumps on farms.
Crazy 88 said we did have state forests in New South Wales. Yep, I'd agree with that. That was a good one. But I mean, also that was 15 years ago. It was a long time ago. I mean, I was a lot younger back then. I'm 40 now, so I was in my mid 20s. So when we started that back, early 2004, 5 or 6, not far off that anyway. From end of 05, I think it was. So it was fantastic. I got to admit that. But that was also done by one person which is John Tingle, who had a lot of respect from people around him. And one person was able to negotiate probably one of the best policies we've ever seen. We've got many more people in Parliament now, yet we can't negotiate a single thing. Is it personality clashes? Is it politics? Is it some of these parties just don't want to work with the candidates that we've got from our pro-gun parties? Banging fists on tables, demanding this. We've got to try and work with them to get what we want. Doesn't mean we bend over, of course not. But sometimes you've got to do things, to get something over the line. And what a huge policy that was.
I think it does come down to that they don't want to because it could jeopardise the votes. That's it. That's all it is. It's just, they're not going to get the votes. They're not going to get in power again and freeload off taxpayers.
Here we go. Here's an interesting one. Let us know, Jay. Jay said his license was suspended because he challenged the conditions on his license. Well, what does that mean? Let us know in the comments, mate. Don't have to be too specific, but let us know. Yeah, I mean, that'd be... the stories that are coming out just really starting to should even scare the squeakiest of clean people. Basically, you could be squeaky clean and you never know when you're going to be on their list.
Well, here you go. We're going to have to ban taking a piss soon. You can ferment your own piss and make an explosive. How do you do that one?
Yeah, and Peter said
we can make a video on it.
Yeah, no, we always say, guys, we're joking. Obviously, we don't break any laws, don't do anything stupid. We're just mucking around, obviously.
Do not ferment your own urine.
Yeah, do not ferment your own urine. 1, it's weird and sick, and 2, if you can do that, you don't want to be doing that. Trust me.
That'd be a good Darwin Award, wasn't it? Man blows himself up with his own urine.
See, Jay said no notification at all. Then Peter said, Jay, contact for help, please, at the NSC. Well, there you go, Jay. Get in contact with the NSC. If you're not a member, get your ass in gear and get yourself a membership. You're not going to find many other organizations, if any, helping out their members. So, join up, pay the cash, help them out where necessary, donate when you can, and yeah.
Yeah. Listen, Tackmeister, look how many immigrants were brought in and converted to vote for political parties. Yeah, that's happening in America as well. Yep.
Yep, exactly. I'm just reading some of the comments here. As they say, those that will sacrifice their freedom for safety deserve neither. That's a good quote. It's been, who was that? I don't know, it was American someone. One of the forefathers, was it, probably?
Yeah, yep. Whiz bang. I think there is a very real case to be made for return of gun rights back in Australians because John Howard promised us safety in return for our guns, and he and everyone proceeded to fail to provide. Exactly. Yeah, it's gotten worse.
He's old Howard, but he's a fit little bastard, so I'm sure he'll go to 100, knowing our luck, But anyway, I don't like to see the demise of people, but sure many people probably, just aren't really going to miss the guy, to be brutally honest.
No, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, especially when you don't forget, it wasn't just that guys taking people's guns. That's the smallest of things. It was, the businesses that went out of business because of it. It was the lack of money to keep business going, strained relationships, broken marriages, broken family homes. It's not just taking people's guns away, man. It's the aftermath of the business closures, all that sort of stuff. Houses being forfeited and going to liquidation, having to leave their homes because that was all they knew. That was their business, and they had marriage breakdowns, breakups, kids in fractured homes. Again, it's not just about guns, eh? It's the aftermath of when you do something. It sends a huge ripple effect through communities.
Guys, everyone's talking about urine. So in the comment section, let's change the subject, eh? Give us some good questions. Yeah, it looks like you guys got a few fetishes there.
Yeah, well, it was old probing, wasn't it? Was it old probing? Yeah.
Daniel Frey, question: who do you vote for in South Australia for gun rights? No one. They're all useless. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend voting for anybody.
We'll find out who's running when the election comes. When's your election next? Anyway, I'm not sure about South Australia, but Peter's got a funny one here, and I was talking about Howard. Cockroaches live forever.
Exactly.
Very, very well said. Very well said, to be honest.
Yeah, I stand firm. None of these politicians are worth voting for, especially the pro-gun ones that don't produce anything. Why reward them for inaction?
Yeah, and David said it good, but this is exactly what happened in New Zealand. So it makes a very, very good point. David Curte said, he goes, people, immigrants coming into the country, immigrants have obviously done a lot of good things for the country as well, but again, they're going to vote for the same party that was approved their visa. That's why Labor love bringing in people from third world countries. No disrespect to that. A lot of them are good, hardworking people, but they know if you give them a visa and you pay them cash to do nothing, they're going to vote for people like the Labor Party. So it's just basically importing, voters from other countries. This happened in New Zealand actually before what happened in Christchurch as well. There was a lot of people there. Some cultures don't have guns. Like there's a huge, even in Australia, you would say, and I've interviewed a lot of them. At the shows, they love pistols, for an example, like they're of Asian descent, because in Asia, you can't own any guns, right? In some of these countries, you can't own any guns at all. So when they come to Australia, they get into pistols. They love their guns, just like the rest of us do. But you had things, what happened in New Zealand, when they were changing the laws, they were asking people that weren't even citizens of the country, the direction of the country in regards to guns. And they're saying, ban the guns. Yet people that live there and have lived there their whole lives and generations of their family had no say at all. So now we're giving up laws to people that aren't even if they are citizens, they haven't been citizens for very long. They're not even Kiwis, for God's sake.
Yeah, well, it's definitely happening in WA, isn't it?
Telling other New Zealanders that have lived there their whole lives and had generations, have never moved anywhere else for 100 years, or how long has New Zealand been a country for? Its first descendants. Taking advice from people that are blow-ins, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the mentality of them. Grim Reaper's Creed. I collect World War II and World War I and II items, including Japanese and German items. The last police check, one officer called me a Nazi lover. What the fuck? Yeah, they should just keep their opinions to themselves, especially when they know nothing about who you are.
Same thing. You just got to, you always got to be friendly, but you just advise. You're not paid for opinions. You're paid by me to uphold the law. So
yeah, exactly.
We're not paying you for your opinion on what my paraphernalia is. I mean, as a gun owner, I probably wouldn't have stuff that was representing 1940s Germany. But then a lot of people do like to collect the memorabilia. A lot of memorabilia back in those days, worth a lot of money too, I might add.
My father in New Zealand, who's a mass gun collector, he had original flags and guns and daggers and, from all the wars, right back to the Boer Wars, right through Nazi Germany, man, worth millions, absolutely millions. His collection was worth a fortune.
Yeah, exactly. Brandon said, yeah, it's just annoys him that criminals can do what they want, the hell they want, and law-abiding owners could be sued because of it. Can't do nothing. Yep, I totally agree, man. That's what happens when, they ban guns. You create a massive, huge black market of firearms. Hence the reason why year in, year out, police are seizing all types of guns, from homemade guns to 3D printed guns to, people. There was one guy in South Australia, as I said on the show I think it was a couple of weeks ago. He was in South Australia. And he was manufacturing these, and so you look at him, this was a guy that put pride in what he did. He was making some fantastic items. Unfortunately, those items were illegal. But, there was a guy not far from me, just here in Western Sydney. He was a jeweler. He was making handguns. I mean, jewelry to handgun. That's an interesting pastime. But same thing. If you ban something, you create a huge black market for it, and demand. And demand needs to be, unfortunately, in any society where anything's banned, will be fed by black market forces, unfortunately. So
banning something just produces a whole handful of new criminals. And whenever you ban someone, like, say, for example, like fireworks, people want them. When you ban someone, people want it more. When you ban something, people want it more.
It's almost like
brain
that.
Surgery.
It's almost like that, it's banned, that you got to have, like as a kid, you always wanted to smoke a cigarette or something. Remember, you're young, you can't smoke, get behind the school, the school toilet block and smoke a cigarette. And we thought we were cool or whatever, like it's ridiculous, you always want something you can't have. It's just natural. Whereas you talk about kids from the bush that have firearms from their parents that, maybe they get them at age 12 to start shooting, get their junior permits. As they get older, they don't want to get their hands on guns. They don't care. Yet you tell a kid from the city, oh, there's a gun over there. Like, oh, is there? Oh, can we get it? Can we shoot it? Can we do it? They want to get involved in it. Yet the kid from the bush just goes, oh, it's just a gun.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there was a big push by, I think it was Gun Control Australia, to get rid of all private schools doing shooting. They used to go down to the gun range and learn how to shoot, and that is a part of their school education and private schools. They're trying to ban all that. In fact, that'll be another video if you guys want to talk about it. Kids and guns. Do you want to hear about that? We can do a video on that sometime.
Yeah, exactly. And Salty said, was it Salty? I'm just going back, sorry. No, so it was Rod Fitzpatrick. Said Jason, it was making Uzi type full autos. Yeah, that's right. No,
that was the Gold Coast guy.
No, there was one. No, was it the Gold Coast guy or the South Australian guy?
There's a guy on the Gold Coast, a jeweler as well, in Nerang.
That guy, man, he was charging 25 grand or something per gun. I mean, it wasn't cheap, but I mean, this guy knew. You could tell what you were looking at was a guy that took pride in what he did, even though he was making something illegal. He wanted to make the best product he could. And apparently, even they were saying, I think I remember the article. This was probably 7-8 years ago. They were saying these things were, well thought out, and this is the fact that someone can make something like this is just crazy. But I mean, again, it's not a barrel and a firing pin and a thing. It's not really that hard, is it? It's not rocket science, is it? No, they made guns back in the 1800s or whatever, or whenever the first one was made. Before that, it wasn't that hard.
Yeah, most of them was most parts you get from Bunnings. So what are they going to do? Go and do over Bunnings or what? So
yeah. Anyway, but don't forget, guys, before we do that, I got to say one thing. Yep. Don't forget to like the video. Let us know. We enjoyed having people on last week. I think that was fun. Aaron enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Had a lot of different people on, different opinions, which was great. So don't forget to give this video a like, except for Aaron. Don't give Aaron a like. Give me a like, okay? Not for Aaron, for me, please.
Definitely like this video, guys. And you can also support Jason and me on Patreon. Our links are down below. We have a Patreon account. Basically what's left of them. So you can find us on Patreon, Facebook, and Instagram. I mainly only use Instagram. So Instagram, Facebook, and all the other stuff. We're on all that as well. So definitely go and check both of us, and the links are in the description. And thank you to the NSC for bringing you this episode. It's been a great night. I hope everyone has enjoyed themselves. Remember, after this video, lay a comment. Just stick a comment down, anything you want to say. It helps with this algorithm and it gets the videos out there. So, guys, have a great weekend and a fun week. And we shall see you in 7 days' time. And remember, the times have changed. I will put that on the Facebook page. So, good night, guys, and see you next week.